What's going on, fam bam? It's your boy KP, and I'm back with another video. All praise and credit due to the Most High God and His Son, Yeshua HaMashiach. Trying to tell y'all, King Jesus, He's the greatest one to ever do it. The greatest prophet to ever walk this earth speaking truth. And He is still on the throne. Oh, man. I'm up early. My sleep schedule, as my spiritual alignment continues to come in tune with the earth, my sleep schedule is all messed up. So I've been up for like, I don't know, maybe 2:30. I went to the gym at 5. I knocked that out. It's about 6:15 in the morning now. And actually, this is my first time walking the beach in Da Nang, Vietnam, even though I've been here 20 days. I never force myself to do things. I wait until they feel right. But man, a lot of things going on in the world. A lot of uncertainty. But if anything should be ringing out in your ears at this point in time is God is not the author of confusion, but a power, love, and a sound mind. Every time I tune in to some type of media, it's like the world has turned into a WWE show. And I'm like, and then the funny thing is, like, I'm like, all the audience is in on it. People are like, it seems like people are void of truth. And, you know, I'll turn this around. Y'all know what I look like. But, you know, it's crazy times, and it's about to get much worse. Things are speeding up. You know, I got this video on my channel. If you guys look back, the title of the video is called 8833 Satanic Sacrifice. When they shot that boy in the neck, you want to know why the news people kept saying 33 hours, we found the killer in 33 hours? Go rewatch my video. I've actually like reposted it in my in the what do you call it, in the post. It's like 2 posts down. Look at the video and read the comments. Same story I made 5 years ago is still true. He was a sacrifice, if you don't know, to try to get something started, but it didn't work. But man, look how many, you guys see how many people? Those are people out in that water. You see that? Those are all people. 6:30 in the morning, those are all people in the water in Da Nang. Man, Da Nang, Vietnam is one of the nicest places I've ever been in my life. And they live a whole different life. If you guys ever seen Maya Beach Club, that's it right there. If not, look up some videos on it. It's real nice. But I hadn't been put out in spiritual message videos because I don't really put them out unless I get a download. But I know something big is about to happen. Because what was it, 3 nights ago, I hadn't talked to Satan in a long time. And Satan came up and talked to me through like 4 different people in a matter of like 10 minutes and was mocking me. And it was good to know he still hates me. It was real good to know. But I was happy about that. You know, sometimes you don't need to hear from God directly. You just need to know that you're still on Satan's bad list. And that that tells you right there. But man, if anybody's been struggling with food, I can't eat anything. Like, I eat some bread, I swell up and get inflamed. I haven't had any meat I think in 30 days. And I was still getting a bunch of inflammation. So I guess now I got to cut out flour, so that goes pasta and bread along with it. But one thing about Da Nang, Vietnam, it is a vegetarian/vegan paradise. They got the best restaurants for that type of stuff I've ever seen in my life. Man, you see this old lady doing her exercise? These people are very health conscious. But there's also a lot of colorism. This beach is packed right now at 6 in the morning because don't nobody want to get a tan. They believe like dark skin is less than. I mean, boy, Satan done confused the whole world. There's a reason you can stay out in the sun. Like, you think God's creating people that can't be out in the sun doing stuff? What do he want you to do it at night when there was no light before technology advances? I don't think so. So that place right there is called Paradise, where that big square is. That's another beach club. But let me get that's the main beach road. Da Nang, Vietnam is known as the Miami of Vietnam, and it definitely lives up to its words, I'll tell you that. It definitely does. I was about to say, man, I should have came out to the beach right when I got here, but again, I gotta do what feels right when it feels right. Can't force things. But it looks like the water is shallow a ways out because there's a bunch of people ways out. But I will say I miss hearing from you guys. I know I haven't posted a lot of video. I went through a spurt where, you know, I was posting some, hey, I'm doing these type of things videos. But I do miss interacting with you guys in the comments. My channel is really hidden and really shadow banned. So if you're watching this, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure your notifications are on, because like my viewership is way down, even from the people that are subscribed. Like, I got almost 2,000 followers on this channel. Y'all know they deleted my first channel. But some major stuff is about to go on. Y'all remember that scripture that the first will be last and the last will be first? You're looking at a spiritual change of command taking place. And you guys remember when Nebuchadnezzar didn't obey God, and God punished him by making him crawl on the ground. Basically, God made him real dumb, made him lose his common sense. Y'all kind of think about that and how it relates to the world right now. You know, with the way those in power are treating God's people. And the last will be first and the first will be last. Like, boy, this is gonna be epic. And we don't have that much longer. Like, you guys, I'm sure you guys could feel it. I told you many times in all my lives, it's gonna go in phases. The first phase was to cut off communication. That was the separation of people, making people uncomfortable to talk to each other. The next phase was gonna be starve them out. And you can look this up. You know, look up the inflation where they talk about, you know, a loaf of bread. That's pretty much what it means in Revelation. When they have mass inflation, a loaf of bread is going to cost a day's wages. You know, I be seeing videos of people talking about the price of food in the United States. I was talking to a guy I used to fly with, and he was telling me like one ribeye steak was $20. I'm like, a steak like one of us would eat, like a big guy dinner? He's like, yeah. I'm like, so after you put some sides with it, you at $25 to eat a steak at home? I mean, everything's relative, but like, people aren't making that much money to where if you got like a family of 6, you got 4 kids, you got to spend $100 to have a nice dinner at home. You know, that's what you and the wife cooking in the kitchen, and you know, everything's, I'm like, man. A lot of suffering is going to take place. It's already taking place. But one thing about suffering is, if you know the purpose of the suffering, if you know why it's occurring, if you know what the purpose of it is for, if you know what things must occur, how they're going to occur, like where you are in the currents, like when it's going to happen, it really softens the blow. Because half of you know, being in shock is being caught off guard. Look at this. Look at these fools out here playing volleyball. Man, they live a whole different life over here. You guys, I'm telling you, it's literally 6 in the morning. You guys see the sun coming up. You're welcome, my man. They're getting it in. They do this in Brazil too. They got a version of this that they do in Brazil that's really cool. Them Brazilians got a lot more rhythm to it too, I'll tell you that. Man, look at this. Y'all see this? All them people. That's good. The water is shallow out there. I might get into it. I might get into it today. But man, Da Nang is just beautiful. I think I might be here for a while, people. You can't beat the prices neither. You can't beat the prices around here. Like, oh, you guys probably saw the shorts where I get them freshly squeezed sugarcane juice, cost 38 cents. Like juices are like 38 cents, 50 cents. They'll make whatever you want. You want orange, carrot, and ginger? Bam, here you go, 60 cents. They got the juicers right there. It ain't like they make it all batch and then they serve it to you. A lot of other Asian tourists come to Da Nang, and I see why. A lot of people from Korea, a lot of Japanese people. And the funny thing, man, is I'm starting to be able to tell the difference in Asian faces. They really do look different. I mean, I know some people stereotype and be like they look similar, but no, man, they have a different look. Thai people look different from Vietnamese, from Korean from Japan. At least those major ones, I can kind of tell a difference in the face before they even speak. A few Indians, these people right here, Indians, guy with the cat, few Indians. And then, you know, you got a few Americans here, a few Canadians. Oh, I missed it. There was a wedding a little ways back. She's waving, I'm waving at her. There was a wedding that somebody was getting married at 6 in the morning right before I started the video. But back to what I was saying. You know, when your heart is in the right place and you have discernment, you can kind of tell where you're at along the timeline. And it doesn't prevent what is happening, but what it does is you go into the situation with different circumstances. I mean, the circumstances is the knowledge of events coming. You know, it does allow you to prepare for it a little bit. You know, you can't prepare for everything, but it allows you to prepare for things that other people might not be preparing for. But it also allows you to mentally digest events that are going to come. So when they do happen, you're like, you know, I knew that was going to happen. So let me give you a good example of that. A good example would be like when someone dies, people always ask a question, oh, was it sudden? And they're like, no, we knew grandma was sick for a while. You know, we all got to say goodbye to her. It doesn't make the people not sad that she's no longer here, but it gave them a month or two or however much time to prepare that she was no longer going to be here. So they were mentally ready when they got the news. Therefore, it wasn't a blow to them, even though they still experienced pain. They were kind of expecting it and ready for it. And that's where people's heads need to be in the end times, especially as these things speed up. All the money in the world isn't going to save you. What's really going to save you is being conscious, right? Money doesn't save people. Contrary to what people believe, they think if they have enough money, they can survive anything. But, you know, it's about being conscious. If you're unconscious in a hospital and you got billions of dollars, you're not enjoying anything because you're not conscious. So consciousness is a true wealth. And that's what the Holy Spirit is. It gives you conscious. It gives you perceptions that are so dialed in that you will see things that other people don't see. It gives you an increased state of consciousness. And that's going to be more helpful than anything because that's going to allow you to digest events. It's going to allow you to make different decisions. It's going to allow you to have a calm mind while you need to make critical decisions. And anybody that knows about making decisions, you make horrible decisions when you're emotional and you're not thinking clear-headed. So I know that it's kind of sometimes hard to detach from that type of thinking, but maybe I'll give you this metaphor. I read something today that made perfect sense. This guy was talking about how people's lives get driven by money. You know, and this goes into the scripture that you cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve God and mammon, for you will hate one or love one and despise the other. So the statement pretty much was saying the same truth. It was like, money makes a terrible master, yet a great servant, right? So money will tell you things like, save me, multiply me, put me in the bank, let my zeros get bigger, don't spend me on that, try to save me. That's money being a master over you. Now, when you treat money as a servant, you have dominion over there. Like if you see a hungry person, you can tell money, solve that problem right now. If you see a person without shelter, you can tell money, build them a home. You begin to have a dominion attitude over money. And whatever you have a dominion over, you know you're above it. Therefore, when it acts ways that you don't like it to act, you will understand why. And it will soften the blow. Hopefully that made sense to you. It makes perfect sense to me, but you know, everybody says I'm crazy. But people really don't think this is God's judgment coming on the world. I'm like, whoo. I've been telling y'all for years with a consistent crazy story about my near-death experience and how I saw all these things in advance. And nobody believed me. But you know, you ain't gotta believe me. God gonna make a believer out of everybody. Even these demons are gonna believe. Well, they already know, but you gonna see them believe. I can't wait to see their face. Hey, puppy dog. Yeah, little dog. So, man, it's another beach club right here at Casa Bay. So, man, Da Nang is just a vibe. Got him a little Vietnamese girlfriend. I ain't mad at her. Xin Chao. You guys don't know Xin Chao means hello. I guess that old man wasn't expecting me to know any Vietnamese words, but hey, they don't know your boy Ken can adapt. I went from a corporate man making a bunch of dollars to a homeless man to roaming around the world. I will figure it out. Well, let me rephrase that. God will help me out of any situation I get in. Whether if I get too high on my horse, God will humble me. If I'm too down and out, he'll lift me up. You know. But you gotta submit to God. And you gotta ask God what he wants for you. Most people are using God like a genie. You know, they're just, God, I need this. They're praying for stuff. They ain't never asked God, what's your plan? What's your plan for my kid's life, for my life? They just sitting there praying the kid gets into college, praying they get this new job. It's silly, man. When I see people doing that stuff, pray for them. All you can do is pray for them. That's very selfish, right? It's kind of like, if you think about it like this, if you was going in your manager's job at work telling them what needs to be done, how would you be viewed as an employee/servant? Shouldn't you be going in there going, hey boss, I did the last things you asked of me. What else can I get done? I got some free time. What do you think I should do? Isn't that how real mentorship would work? And the person that's always going in the manager offices telling the manager what needs to be done. You think the manager wants to promote that person that's rebellious, that's not obedient? People's heart are in the right place. And they're selfish. People want to worship God the way they want to worship God. It's hey, build us a golden calf so we can worship God. You can't do things sometimes in life the way you want to do them. You need to do them the way they need to be done if you want to have great success. That's the difference between being productive and being effective. A lot of people are very productive, going to church, reading their Bible, but they're not very effective when it comes to change in their life. You know, a hamster runs very fast on the wheel, but how much ground does he cover? I'm exhausted. I've been working hard. I've been running my butt off. Hey man, you're still in the same spot. That's the difference. That's the difference between being productive and effective. And this is the way it looks in life. A lot of times people get started without prayer and evaluation of the condition and the circumstances they're currently faced with. They're just like, oh, I got to do something, and they get started. You know, everybody else has took off running the race. I don't want to get left behind. But sometimes you need to spend time up front to come up with a plan. Therefore, you get greater results at the end. That's called leverage. Leveraging your thoughts, leveraging your prayer, leveraging your meditation, taking time to accurately chart a course before ever setting sail. Most people are just like, oh, let's get started. Let me turn this back around. So, not sure what I'll call this video. Maybe it's a spiritual update. Same story, man. Like every once in a while, I'll go back and watch one of my old videos, and I'm like, man, it's the same message. The gospel is the same message over and over, told different ways, but it's the same story. Once you know the story, you know, you just repeating the same story with a different backdrop. You know, like to me, The Walking Dead, like the series, The Walking Dead, I used to watch that, and the series, The Soprano, I've also watched all of those. To me, those are the same exact stories with being told a different way. The stories about humanity struggling through certain crises and going through emotions. That's the basis of the story. One is told in an apocalypse setting, the other one's told in the setting of a mafia family. Same exact story. That's why those shows were so big, because it's the story. This is so cool. Oh, I'm getting wet. I should get in the, man, this water is warm. Like, it's not even cold on my feet at all. Like, I'm splashing with my feet, y'all. Like, it's like room temperature. It's the same temperature as the air. And it's probably 78 degrees out here, 78 degrees and humid. Maybe 80. This water's got to be in the high 70s. These girls out here taking some pictures. But yeah, I think I might get in this water piece. I think that's all for this video. But you guys, till next time, stay equipped in the full armor of God, covered with the blood, filled with the Spirit, in the name of the Son, and the power of the true living God. I'm still KP. I'm still in Da Nang, Vietnam. King Jesus still the greatest. He's still on the throne. Evil is still causing havoc in people's life, but remember, Christ overcomes everything. So put him first in your life. Till next time, I'm out. Stay blessed. Peace.